Hi guys, welcome back to part 5 of our Shovelhead strip stroke messing about. I think we have now removed everything that is possible to remove on the primary side. So it's time to start putting it all back together. So we will start with the seals, I think, and a solution to my concerns about which around to fit the seal on the sprocket shaft, and also a solution to actually getting it on there. So let's go and have a look. Right, first up, the correct stator's turned up, which is one of the bits that was missupplied, and it's come unencapsulated, bare windings. Now, the blurb that goes with this says that that's a good thing because it helps it all run cooler. We'll have to wait and see. The other teensy-weensy problem that I can see is that the windings themselves are really, how can I put this politely, irregular. That's a nice way of putting it, isn't it? It will probably work, and that's all that matters. I'm sure it'll be fine. And then the second thing is the matching regulator rectifier came, and then I noticed, because I've taken another one off, it's held on a long plate with 4 bolts. Ignore that, that's just me having a look inside because I'm nosy. Yeah, 4 bolts, but as you can see, the bolt spacing, this one's a 2-bolt fitting, this is a 4-bolt fitting, and size-wise, they are nowhere near. So I thought, oh dear, let's hope I've not been supplied with the wrong one of these. Although it has got the correct 4 holes to match with the alternator. The rotor, I should say. Stator. I'll get there in the end. I know all the words, they just mess about in my head. So, that new part will not fit on the bracket that's mounted to the bike. So either I get a piece of alloy that size, drill it so it'll fit the bike, and then drill it again so this will then fit the alloy, or I try and get this off. It appears to be riveted here. I try and smash the old regulator off and drill out those, and then use that as the base plate, attach that to that, and then put that back on the bike, which is probably what I'm going to do. Irritating. I did double check the part number, and it is correct for a 70 to 75 big twin, and mine is a 73 big twin, as is that, so they all match. Just obviously there must be different fittings, which is slightly awkward. So that's the plan. I'll try and get these off, or try and get this off that. Maybe with a chisel, because it doesn't really matter. And we'll just see if we can separate this from there. So I'll bring back in a second. Right, I've cleaned up the original bottom plate, drilled it to suit this. So it's now sitting central, which is how the old one was. It was sitting central, it was longer. So hopefully, having the additional finning on the bottom as well as on the top won't do it any harm. I can't imagine it will. I don't imagine it will overcool, to be honest. So that's ready to go on, thankfully. So, more faffing, but we're getting there. Right, we'll start with the sprocket seal. The housing's clean. Right, there's a new spacer, which I'll just oil inside and out. Just going to go on there. and then our seal, which I was debating which way round to fit it. That'll also be oiled on the lip. And I'm going to go with prevailing wisdom, which is you fit it that way round when you're running a wet primary, which is what I will be doing. So that has got to go on there, like so. That's not a good start, is it? Right, okay. It's going to be tight. Now I needed something that would fit inside there, and I thought this was going to be the answer. I'm not sure. It will be now. Anyway, we shall give it a go because it's nearly the right size. So I'll just get a hammer. I'm having to do all this with my wrong hand, as it were, because it's the only way I can get the lights on it. That's not going to go. No, that's gone in on an angle which I didn't want. Oh dear. That's a good start, isn't it? Let's try. Nope. Right, that plan didn't work. So we shall move on to using that on the outer edge and try and get it started more. I think once it goes onto the spacer better, I should be able to use the plastic spacer I've got. It's definitely going. Is that enough? Yes, there we are. That moved. It's so inconvenient having to film this and do it. There we go. So a little bit more on top. That's it. It's in. Is that spacer all the way in? Yes, it is. Good. Slightly nerve-wracking beginning, but it's in. So the gearbox one, we have our cork insert. Slightly oversized. There we go. And then again we have our spacer and our seal, but this one at least is going in the right way round, which makes life slightly easier. So again, I'll just oil it inside and out. That's going to go in there. Oh, in fact, it looks like that's going to go in quite easily. Okay. Anyway, so then now the seal has to go through the spacer, so we'll lubricate the seal. Press down, push it in, lovely. Yep. Like so. Now then, let's see if we can get this one to start a bit more evenly. So again, I'll just be using the sprocket socket to try and tap that home. Fingers crossed. Wow, that's tight. That is tight. I forgot to mention, there were only a couple, despite all the staking that was around it, there are in fact only a couple of high spots on it. due to the staking being rubbish. And I removed the high spots with a sharp blade, small sharp blade, just out of interest. Right, we're slightly high there. That's it. Yeah, I think that's got it. Yep. So we're down all the way around, which is good. And then there is an L-shaped metal bracket which was broken when we took it off, if you recall. Which is that, which is very small, quite feeble, to be honest. And that's got to go in there and attach itself like that. So what holds that in? Not a lot by the looks of it. I'm assuming a sprocket will sit over that. Let me just check. Yes. So the sprocket will butt straight up to that. Let me just see if I can lever it up so it sits up there. Yes. Yes, so once it's levered up, there we go. It sits neatly into the spacer. And then the sprocket will then fit against that. Good, right. And then, let me just wipe that. And then we have another seal. Which also needs oiling. Which fits in there. Now, I think I have got a piece of tube that will fit that. Yes. Same one I used for the Honda output shaft seal. Yep, it's flush all the way around. No, a little bit underneath. There we go. Yep, that's all down. Good. Right, that's locking on that, which it should do. Good. So 23 tooth sprocket. I don't know what the standard is. I'll put it on here if it's any different. That goes on there. And then I've got a super nut to replace the original one. And these are meant to also help control oil leaks. But from some of the comments, it looks like shovels are a bit leaky at the best of times. So we've got a nut, our lock washer, and a rubber and a O-ring. So the O-ring must go in there. Just, it will be very hard for you to see, but where the threads end is a groove, which I'm assuming is where that has to go. But it doesn't. It's too big. Now then, where does that go then? Where Where does that go? That's got to be meant to go in there, it just doesn't. I wonder if it goes around the spacer. Right, I'm afraid I'm going to turn you off for a second while I investigate this, because I'm going to have to lie down and look. Excuse me 1 minute. Mind you, if I look properly, it's actually a machined groove in the back of the nut as well, which that will fit in, just about. I'm going to have to get some grease to stick it down. Right, so that's where the O-ring goes, in the back of the nut. Okay, so that solved that one. I'll just stick it down and we'll put this back together. So, we shall stick that on while we're waiting. Right, the seal is in the back of the nut now. The main seal's oiled. The lock washer is in place, that just slides over the splines. So we're ready to tighten up our super nut. So the thread protector goes on there. That goes on there. And we're going to try and see if this will hold it enough. Let's try it there. It's not a great fit, this socket. It works, but it's not brilliant. Oh, that's tight. That's a lot of torque, isn't it? Oh, it really is. A lot of torque. Wow. Well, it's one tight nut. I'm getting too old for this. That's for sure. Right. That'll go, that'll go. That'll just about go. So, I need to get something behind them, don't I? Let's just get this out, huh? I'll just tap those down and then we'll move on. Right. The other two are less good, but with the three of them turned over, even partially, it isn't going anywhere. I've tightened up that torque, it certainly isn't either. So we need a stator on next. So it comes with new bolts with thread lock on them, which is good. So that's got to be fed up there. Right, we're going to have to lubricate them. Bit of Vaseline or something. And then I'm going to have to turn you off because I can't see you with the holders. Right. That seems to be all the way in. Right, they're on but not fully tight because I don't know if I might need a little bit of leeway to get the clip in that holds the wiring in place. which is our little clip with two self-tappers to hold the wiring. Now I'm definitely going to have to go in front of you for this bit, so I'll have to turn it off and just do it. There we are. Right, the extension's on. So now I'm going to degrease and blow out all the bolt holes for the primary inner. So we'll call it a day for this one, I think. So when you come back off camera, I'll have bolted the regulator in place and we'll put the chain on. So we're ready just to attack the inner case. So thanks for watching, and call back again and see how this is going. Bye for now.